There we go. Oh, good morning. I'm checking my sound manager here. I'm getting off a quick video because it's 9 o'clock and I need to be on the road in a half hour. So I actually need to get this video out and get it posted and all this other crap. And woman's work is not done. I have to go out and hit bitches in practice today. I've actually been debating whether or not I want to do that, simply because my normal practices have been kind of rough this last 2 weeks, and this is actually Wednesday was the first practice I made it through where I actually made it through practice without getting sick, without getting hurt, without getting tired. Yeah, it was a good time. So, I've been doing a lot of thinking about writing. I've been doing a lot of thinking about what I've been doing with writing, which hasn't been that much of late. It always seems like when I plan something, it never quite does what I want it to do. Tuesday night I was going to write, and then a call went out. Anyone wanted to join one of my teammates for a night of light cardio. Sorry, I'm checking my phone. And I decided rather quickly that, I needed light cardio. Because, training to be an athlete is a pain in the butt. So I went out and we did an hour and a half of light cardio. Let me tell you, when my teammate says, "Oh, we're just going to do light cardio," light cardio for her is like some of the hardest cardio I've ever done in my life. I was actually working up a pretty good sweat, which she said was the idea, is that you work up a sweat. I have to learn how to push myself like that and not have somebody else push me. But I did let her know the next time you want to go out and do, cardio, say something. I'd like to join you because you need to be pushed. Thursday night, what did I do Thursday night? I can't even remember. I know I wasn't feeling very well Thursday night. I didn't go to practice, but to be honest, I can't remember what I did Thursday night. I think I just stayed home. I wasn't feeling well. As you can tell, I've actually been fighting off a bit of a cold now for a couple of weeks. And it's become rather annoying in that you have to do this. It's like, why do I have this cold? I don't want a cold. So I've been fighting off this cold for a couple of weeks now. And I just didn't feel like doing anything. And then last night I had a couple of things to do. And then I went out to dinner. A couple of things to do involved taking a nap for about an hour. Because I'll tell you, I took cold medication. I took cold medication Thursday night to help me sleep and to help me kind of try to break this cold. Sorry about that. And I woke up Friday morning with the worst drug hangover. Which is one of the reasons why I don't like taking cold medication. Because I get these incredible drug hangovers. And so most of Friday morning was spent at work just kind of going and fighting to stay awake and stuff like that. Just insane shit. So when I got home, I ended up taking a nap for about an hour. And then when I woke up, I was like, let me see if I can figure out. I'm doing stuff here. Never mind. I was like, well, what am I going to do? I went out, got something to eat. By the time I got back here, it was 8:30, and I changed into my night clothes, and I decided I was going to watch a little TV before I went to bed, and before you know it, about 2.5 hours went by, and I went to sleep. So, I haven't been doing a lot with writing. It seems like sometimes on Saturdays and always on Sunday mornings have been my writing times now. And it's disturbing to me. I'm starting to wonder if perhaps I've just hit like a burnout point where with everything that's going on in my life, I just don't have the time for it anymore. And it's possible. I'm still committed to doing TV recaps and finishing this novel and everything else. But it seems like when it really comes down to the point of when I get up in the morning, do I want to write 500 words or do I want to screw around on the computer? Screwing around on the computer is a much safer and easier choice. And there was a time not too long ago where doing 500 words first thing in the morning was not that big of a deal. Part of that is just I feel a little burned out. Part of it is this ongoing issue I've been having with depression. And that's also become annoying because it just feels as if I can't get away from it. It saps a lot of my energy. And there's even been times where I'll go to practice and I just don't feel like I have any energy to do anything. Just depression in general is a bad thing. You don't always look like you're down in the dumps, but sometimes you feel as if it's the hardest thing in the world to just get up and get going. And that's part of the problem I'm having in the morning is I will actually look at the clock here on the computer and go, oh, it's 6 o'clock. I need to figure out what I'm going to wear and start getting ready. And then I'll look down again and it'll be 6:35. And it's like, well, I guess I should get up and get ready. And I've just vegged out for a half hour, not even thinking about it. It's tough. It really is tough. And it makes me wish I did have access to a therapist right now. Yeah, or even had access to, antidepressants, because this is starting to affect me greatly. And this is always a bad time of year for me anyway, because my house back in Indiana is sold. My divorce is proceeding. I didn't deal with the house sale very well. And as you heard, or as you may have read from my one blog post, last Wednesday was when I sold, not this last Wednesday, but the Wednesday before, the last Wednesday in November, was when I sold my house back in Indiana. And that night at practice, my head was really not in practice. And I went down and I pulled a muscle in my right thigh. And when I mean I pulled it, it was the most painful, probably the most painful thing I've had happen. I've been in car wrecks. And usually you don't feel the pain because it happens so quickly. It doesn't have time to register. And usually you're kind of numb and endorphins are taking over and all this stuff. When I went down that Wednesday night, it was like I fell on my skate. I felt my body going one way and my leg actually going the other. And I felt the muscle stretch. And I could literally feel it stretching all the way from my hip past my knee. It was like I could feel the ligaments in my knees stretching. And it was just unbelievably painful. Like I said, I knew I made a noise when I went down, and I asked a couple of my teammates, later, not that night, but later, like a day or two later, and I said, "Hey, did I make a noise? Did I scream or anything when I went down?" And they were like, "Oh yeah, you screamed. You let out a loud scream." And of course, the coach was standing next to one of my friends, and she goes, "I hope that's not a broken leg." She was pretty good about it. She even contacted me that night, like at 12:30 at night, and was like, "Hey, how's your leg?" And I said, "It's good. I got ice on it. I've took a hot bath and I put ice on it and everything else." But part of that was I was trying to do something that I really wasn't equipped to do yet. And the other part of it was my head just wasn't in the game that night. And a lot of that was due to depression. And depression has just been eating my ass up of late. And it's monotonous, I know some of you struggle with depression, and so you know what it's like. You know what it's like to go months on end with not having any passion or drive. And I've begun to even notice that with derby practice now, is that my head is already starting to do stuff like, you don't really need to go to practice, do you? That's a bad thing, because that's how I give up on stuff. And I kind of feel like that with my writing too. I feel I can still do my writing, and I should be doing stuff like, even if I'm only writing 300 or 400 words when I first get up in the morning, crank them off, get them out of the way. Even if it's crap, you can go back and edit it later. And the depression's saying, "Nah, you don't really need to do that. It's not necessary." I don't know. I keep saying I'm going to change, but I don't see it. That's the biggest problem. I don't really see it. I say I'm going to do stuff, and it doesn't happen. I do need to write. I really want to tell these tales. But there's a part of me that just says it's not worth the effort anymore. And I find myself even thinking about different stories, and I can't bring myself to even do something like write a short story. It's annoying. I wish I had some sort of magic that would snap me out of it, like something Coraline could whip up and help me out. But that only exists within my stories, within my imagination. So I'll get out of it one way or the other. It's going to happen. Don't worry. I'll get this story back online. Thanks for listening, and have a good weekend. Talk to you later. Bye.